Michael Hagan leading them out. It's a big day here for the Newcastle fans. 227,000 have watched this team go around this season. Manly not that far behind in crowd support. And the looks on the faces tell that this is a very important game. Gary Worth at fullback, Gordon on one wing, McCormick and Doyle in the centres, Miller on the other wing, Hagan 5'8", Fulmer is the halfback. And this powerful forward lineup with Glanville at lock, Mark Wett and Boyd in the second row, Butterfield, Mullane and Johnston in the front row, and the coach is Alan McMahon. Jeff Tooby coming out with the Manly boys, Martin Bella, a very impressive Manly side going around in 1990. Des Hasler, the last out of the tunnel. He's in no hurry, very relaxed but determined Hasler. The fullback is Ridge. On the wings, Lydiard and Iro with Hasler and O'Connor in the centre. Michael O'Connor, the captain. Lyons 5'8", Jeff Tooby is the halfback. Owen Cunningham, the lock forward. Ian Roberts is back in the second row with Chris White. Hosking, Dunford and Bella are the front row. And the coach, Graham Lowe. Ian Roberts wearing headgear. He's been out for 3 weeks with a fractured cheekbone, and he could be the man who will put a real dent in the Newcastle forwards, who we know are very tough, but Roberts is an explosive runner and a very tough tackler. Last year, these two teams met at Newcastle. Newcastle defeated Manly 14 points to 0. Manly have had trouble with the Knights. The referee is Eddie Ward, and we're underway in this battle for 5th place in the competition ladder. Matthew Ridge gathers in the ball, beats the first tackle, almost gets it back to the 22. In comes Glanville to make the tackle. Martin Bella hits it up, but he's met quickly by Tony Butterfield. Now it's with David Hosking, the big front rowers, taking it one off the ruck. The defence moving up quickly. Back for the kick on the 4th tackle. Ridge under pressure, got the kick in. And waiting for it is Ashley Gordon. Takes it well. Both wrists strapped for Gordon. In early matches today, it was a win in the under-21s to Newcastle, 22-2. And the Knights did it again in reserve grades, 16-14. So they're looking for a win in all 3 grades, and they've got a penalty, the first penalty of the match.
This penalty was against young Dunford, not getting off the tackle player quick enough. We have a look here. Tuvey and Dunford in the tackle, and unfortunately, Dunford botching it up, holding down Gordon here.
His legs got entangled just to compound the error. So Manly will take the tap 24 metres out. Butterfield runs it hard and straight. Hosking, one of the men in the tackle, also Dunford. Peter Johnston takes them on. The defence is very strong, plenty of aggression going in. Poor play the ball by Johnston, but the penalty goes to Newcastle. A little unlucky, possibly. Manly not quite clearing the tackle player.
We have a look here. Hoskins in the ruck area. We have a look here. It was good work by Johnston there. I believe that he's won that penalty.
Well, he actually dropped the ball on top of Hosking rather than onto the ground, and so having done that, admittedly Hosking was laying in there, but Johnston certainly made the penalty happen, didn't he?
Well, Hosking's not the most mobile man, so he didn't get out of the way too quickly there.
I guess any of us laying on our back with our legs kicking in the air can't move around too much. Here it is again, Johnston fighting his way into the tackle. And you'll notice Hosking being dragged away, in fact, by his teammate Roberts. And then Johnston actually drops the ball on his shoulder.
Well, you have to give a little bit of credit to Peter Johnston there.
Ashley Gordon to attempt this goal. Gordon, the first player signed by Newcastle when they came into the competition. This is just to the left of the uprights, a handy position. And he's made no mistake. The roar goes up. The first points are on the board and Newcastle lead 2-0. The Newcastle crowd surrounding Graham Lowe, the Manly coach. Ridge restarts play. The wind is blowing across the ground from this side of the field towards the east. So you may just see players tending to kick for the far touchline in general play. The ball's been lost here by Boyd. That's a Manly ball. Driving on it was Cunningham. Manly quickly go on the attack with Tuvey dancing. Loose pass wide of O'Connor. They managed to get back. Bella runs straight into Butterfield. Also Johnston. decoy runner was Hosking, but Dunford had a go himself. And referee Eddie Ward is going to make sure that these two teams are allowed to play the ball quickly, so we may see a flowing game. David Boyd there.
If we have a look on replay here, he's just ruled that David Boyd, once again, not getting off the tackle player quick enough. Just hold him down. If you have a look at his left arm there, slowing the play the ball down.
Newcastle will obviously attempt to slow Manly down. There's one thing aside that, like Manly, love to do. It's to get the quick play the balls going, start to move the ball, get the defence backpedaling, and then they find the hole starting to open up and they can use their speed. The way this guy kicks here, it wouldn't be given too many penalties away. Matthew Ridge has kicked 28 goals from 36 attempts.
Well, obviously, there's nothing wrong with his technique. He kicked 6 for 6 New Zealand against England
to help them win that Test match. .25 metres out, just to the left of the posts. Ridge hits it well, but it's just wide. Firmly off the boot, but just drifting to the left. Lyons decides to kick. The Manly backs were very deep. Tuvey the only one coming through. Gary Worth is there. Lyons, the man who kicked it, gets back to it. Out it goes Dunford, hands it on to White. I think Manly were really expecting that kick from Lyons. The back line were deep. Lyons. Out it goes to O'Connor, another kick. Gordon has to turn. He'll have to cover it up. Tuvey coming through, and Gordon just gets to it in time, and he's pinned. Jeff Tuvey through well, chasing that with David Lydiard.
Already the skills of Cliff Lyons coming to the front. We have a look here, the grubber put through. They tried it in an earlier instance, but they put the bomb up. But this time, Ashley Gordon caught in the in-goal area, so it's a dropout.
Great chase there from little Jeff Tuvey.
Hey Arthur, I wouldn't fancy hitting the ball up from those tap kicks, would you?
I'd say take it up, you guys. I'd keep pushing them up the front there.
Tony Iro, another one you wouldn't want to have to tackle running it back, but they hit him well. Good technique and determination in the Knights' defence. That was Marquette. Roberts gets it back to Dunford, who's bleeding from the eye.
And I think you'd be using your wingers more, wouldn't you, if you're a front row?
Here's Roberts, gets a good offload away to Cunningham. Haven't seen that much of Ian Roberts in attackers yet. And the penalty goes to Manly, right in front of the post, up inside the 5. Referee Ward cracking down. This should be a very easy kick for Matthew Ridge. Peter Johnson trying to fire up his teammates.
It's a few tough decisions here for Eddie Ward. He's got the home crowd to contend with, and he's making all the right decisions at the moment.
Despite the commitment of Newcastle, Manly do seem to have dominated territory. It looked a little more dangerous at times.
Well, they certainly look a lot more dangerous, Manly. They've had plenty of scoring opportunities.
Martin Bella has a sore shoulder. In fact, Bella left the field last week with a shoulder problem. Ridge right in front, raises the flags. And so Manly are back on level terms. It's 2 points all here at Newcastle.
Yeah, well, you generally get that with Eddie Ward. He's trying to keep them apart, Arthur, not like the tragedy we saw last night.
Newcastle prepared to run it on the last tackle, and Glanville almost got away down the touchline. Here's Martin Bella. He may be wounded, but he's not about to throw the towel in. He got a heavy tackle from Marquette with Mullane. Hosking coming a little high that time. Butterfield was slipping up around the shoulder. Lyons calls for it. He says running it's too hard, let's kick, and that's a good solid kick from Cliff Lyons. Great kick from Cliff Lyons. That's a 45-metre gain. Great accuracy, a long driving kick.
We have a look here. Graham Lyons just kicking for touch, just landing about 5 yards inside touch, rolling into the touchline. A great kick from Cliff Lyons.
Martin Bella in all sorts of trouble, can barely keep his feet now. They're calling for the head bit, so it's not the shoulder. He must have taken another knock.
I think Peter Johnson didn't do him any favours. He hit him with a couple of hard tackles over the top.
Martin Bella in all sorts of problems. He thought State of Origin football was tough, but he's finding that playing against Newcastle at Newcastle can be just as dangerous. Here's Gordon. Ashley Gordon not only has pace, but a good step. And Adrian Shelford, who played for Newcastle not long ago, receives a very warm welcome from the crowd. Jeff Doyle, loose pass. Fulmer can't keep it on the toe. Manages to regather, but it went forward.
Yeah, really the pass from Doyle going forward. Cliff Lyons took a heavy knock there too. If we have a look here, taking the ball up, Doyle getting the ball and just trying to offload the ball just sliding forward.
He's played city country football. Had some bad luck with injuries the last couple of years, but he seems to be fully fit again today. No sign of any guards on his legs and no headgear.
A great broken field run of Gary Worth. Tremendous speed, explosive speed.
Ian Roberts has conceded a penalty here. Bad luck for Roberts. He was fighting for the offload, got it away just as the referee called held. And that's an unfortunate penalty, but if the referee had said held, he had to award the penalty.
Well, it's a tough decision here on Roberts. A bad call, I believe, because Eddie Ward's probably about 10 or 15 metres away, and also Roberts is wearing a headgear, which I think it'd be pretty hard to hear that call.
Gordon looking for his 24th goal of the season, and the crowd tells you the story. Newcastle lead 4 points to 2. The way this game is being played, a penalty could prove crucial. An unlucky one for Manly. 10 metres inside Newcastle territory.
He's certainly going to have some bruises tomorrow, Adrian Shelford. They haven't missed him.
Roberts gets a great unload away. Dunford there backing up. 25 metres out. Tuvey gives it to Iro, and the big fella comes in and injects himself from the wing. Penalty to Manly. The ball raked out of Iro's arms as he was getting to his feet. Glanville complains.
Well, there's no need to complain here. It's quite obvious. You have a look here. Iro coming charging into the ruck, and Glanville just ripping the ball out as he locking his arm in there, the right arm, and just flipping the ball out.
Well, this may be the even up, because we saw Ian Roberts conceding that penalty a little unluckily in the first half when he tried to offload just after the referee called held, and this penalty's been awarded in virtually the same spot, as it turns out. Michael O'Connor is going to attempt the goal because Matthew Ridge is still limping back on the halfway line. He's on his feet. All the kicks in the match have been from a handy position. In comes O'Connor, and he makes no mistake. And the scoreboard is level, 4 points all, just a couple of minutes into the second half. Michael O'Connor had a good early season with the boot, kicked 22 goals before Matthew Ridge arrived.
I believe that poor kicking games by both sides.
They don't seem to be getting themselves set for it, because there's a fair bit of wind up there, and they don't seem to be putting any altitude into or any direction.
They're both aiming for the sideline rather than field position.
Yeah.
Hagan links up with Doyle. Doyle away from Lyons' tackle. Good strong run. 10 metres inside Manly territory. It goes to Gordon. Gordon steals 15 metres with sheer pace down the blind side. Hagan comes across field. Boyd stands. Back to Fulmer. Fulmer shows good pace. Acceleration. Fulmer in the clear. Away from one. Steve Fulmer has support inside, and Robbie McCormack will score. That's a great try from Newcastle. Started by Fulmer and Boyd. Tremendous work to elude the tackles. The support was there from McCormack. What a good game he's having. They moved it wide. Hagan faded wide first of all. Got it out to Boyd. He pushes or stands in the tackle of Cunningham. Now Fulmer really does the damage. Away from Tuvey into the open spaces. Slips a good tackle or attempted tackle there from Ridge, and back inside. Great support from McCormack. Wasn't that a tremendous pass from Fulmer?
We have a look here. Hagan's holding the pass up. Gives the ball here to Boyd. But backing up is Fulmer. He not only possesses toughness, but he has great speed, beating Tuvey there. Iro coming in over the top, not locking the ball up, and McCormack backing up inside. A great try to Newcastle.
Robbie McCormack broke his leg against Norths in 1989, but he won't be thinking about that with a tremendous burst like that to finish off a good attacking raid. Matthew Ridge couldn't quite make the last tackle on Fulmer. Fulmer stood him up, went away from him, And Ridge may have been just dragging that leg that's been troubling him in the last few minutes because he really couldn't get after Former.
Yeah, Lyon's getting caught out of the position there too. If he'd hung on the inside, he would have covered McCormack also. He was going for Former.
Newcastle lead 8 points to 4. Very important kick in this low-scoring game for Ashley Gordon. He moves into it. He hits it well. No, he puts it wide. I thought it was going between the posts, but it was out to the right. So Newcastle lead by 4. Darryl Williams takes the field. Well, we've said it before, but when this game is added up, it's the little things that McCormack is doing so well in defence, falling on the loose ball, making tackles that are going to count for so much, and scoring the try.
John O'Donnell coming on for Manly. He's a great little competitor at the dummy halfers. He's an up-and-coming hooker, this kid.
Yeah, he could turn Newcastle around. That's badly needed at this stage and give Manly a chance to get their backs in operation. But here's Hagan slipping a ball out to Glanville.
Hagan cutting back across the ruck, changing the point of attack. David O'Donnell on the sidelines there. The penalty goes to Newcastle. This is another easy shot for Ashley Gordon. Manly moving up too quickly. Now Gordon missed from this position just a few minutes ago. It's a very important kick. It can take Newcastle away to a 6-point lead. This time he does put it over the black dot. Not a very confident looking kick from Ashley Gordon. He just chipped it over, but the result's okay, and the Knights lead 10 points to 4. 22,907 here at Newcastle today.
It looks like he's sending Grant Dory out to replace maybe Roberts.
Roberts is on his feet, but doesn't really look to have recovered fully. Des Hasler, Shelford just hangs on. Lyons, quick pass. Lydiard. 15 metres short of halfway, it's the last tackle. Lyons sends it to Williams, whose kick only travelled 25 metres of that in the air, and Worth takes it easily. Can he get away from Tooby? No, Jeff Tooby deserves every accolade that Manly can give him today. He has not given up for a moment. Ian Roberts leaving the field. Gee, there's been some wounded today. It's going to be a sick, sore and sorry dressing room in both sides, I'd say.
I'll miss Ian Roberts. He's come up with 30 tackles in defence.
By the way, this is Sam Stewart's 50th first grade
He's got some good offloads away, but I guess Ian Roberts hasn't really hit the line with Benham today in attack. Cliff Lyons there trying to stir Miller up. Lucky not to concede a penalty. He just fling out a short elbow in his direction, at least, even if it didn't make contact. Worth, stab kicks down the line. This one rolling well, rolling a long way, forces Ridge back. A line of red and blue jerseys there, and Sam Stewart upends Ridge. Almost turned it into a spear tackle.
Well, they've certainly got the smell, Newcastle, and they're not going to let this one get out of the bag.
With this crowd behind them, and not the way they're playing this game of football. Shelford bumps one out of his phone. In fact, it was Sam Stewart who got knocked backwards. White, he's hit in some heavy defence. Newcastle have really hit hard all day long.
I've been very impressed with Chris White. He's sort of come of age today.
O'Connor is through. He looks for support inside us. Lydiard, away it goes to O'Connor again. Out wide is Iro, but it goes to Tony Kemp. O'Connor didn't have a look. He knew he had his winger there.
The linesman coming on here. There'll be a penalty to Manly here.
Player may have been interfered with, trying to get up in support. O'Connor knew he had Iro out there, but Kemp had got in between, and O'Connor just didn't have a look. We believe that Des Hasler has been held back. Tony Kemp, the man being spoken to by Eddie Ward. No sin bin. They're coming a long way back upfield to where the incident took place. Here's O'Connor. We'll see if we can see Hasler in the background there get held back. And there it is. Just held back for a moment, but then lost his balance.
Well, that could have been the difference if we remember. Was it Kemp who made the intercept?
Oh, yeah, it was Kemp, yeah. And that's good work by the touch judge. Let's give the touch judges and referees credit. They sometimes cop a hammering, but that sort of illegal play needs to be really hit on the head. White takes it on. So Manly are down by 6 points. They're in a position to get this try back. Dunford charges at the line and bounces away. He's only 3 metres out. The backs are deep. Tuvey standing one off the ruck. O'Donnell at dummy half. It goes to Iro, and Iro for the line. Just short, inches short. Quick play the ball. O'Donnell in there again. Newcastle moving up quickly out wide. Lyons, Hasler. Hasler back into the ruck. Over the top for Williams. Out it goes to Ridge. Ridge trying to get away from Gordon. He's ridden him over the touchline, and the chance for Manly has gone astray.
This is a great tackle here by Gordon, but I thought they took the wrong option. They turned the ball back. There's the pass, pop-up pass. Williams passes the ball back to Ridge. Ridge going for the line here, but a great ball and all tackle here by Ashley Gordon. But the play prior to that,
Hasler it was, wasn't it? When Hasler went back inside.
Turned the ball back inside. They had the numbers on the outside.
Newcastle were stretched out wide. Manly had the numbers there. Hasler, no doubt, went back inside because the defence moved up fairly quickly on him, but I think he still had the time to keep it going wide. That may have been Manly's golden opportunity to get back on level terms, and I wonder if there'll be another one.
I thought that Eddie Warbur's a little bit lenient there because obviously the Newcastle outside backs were well offside.
The Iro went within inches of scoring right underneath the posts to give his kicker an easy conversion, which would have made it 10-all. Here's a good run from Stewart, and they're outside the quarter. It's a last tackle. Worth gets his kick in. Ridge is well positioned. O'Connor is back there with him. Ridge decides to have a go himself. But the Newcastle defence has been tough all day. O'Connor darting. Remember, it was Michael O'Connor who made the break a moment ago to get them down that end of the field. The intercept was taken to end it all. Then the penalty came. Dunford is one out.
Well, they're going one out, the Manly forwards, and not going to crack this defence, especially this late in the game, one out.
Here comes the Manly back line. Lyons goes to the line. And Lydiard taken in a good tackle, but Iro outside is O'Connor. O'Connor steps away from the line. Difficult pass pulled in by Lyons. In fact, he's lost it, and Lyons wants to go on with it. Throwing punches at Cliff Lyons. Cliff Lyons has been in a couple of scraps today, and usually they have followed mistakes by him.
Well, it was a poor pass from Michael O'Connor. He put him under a lot of pressure there.
Gordon can't get away from Jeff Tuvey. How many times has Tuvey made the tackle by one leg? Lyons seems to have hurt his hand. Manly starting to use their backs, and Iro and O'Connor are cutting through out wide. Stewart 10 metres short of halfway. 10-4 to Newcastle. A win here can carry the Knights into the 5, into 5th spot at Manly's expense. O'Connor standing back very deep to take that kick. Gets it to Ridge. Crowd says it was forward. Ridge shows David Campese. Goes again with the goose step. Williams at dummy half. Iro very dangerous in the last 5 minutes. But a good tackle takes him. Sam Stewart it was. O'Donnell to White. Back inside to O'Donnell. O'Donnell comes to Worth and he makes the tackle. A good one around the legs. They're only 15 metres out. Here come the Sea Eagles. Lyons goes wide to Hasler. Taken by Doyle. The pass is loose. Whose ball is it? The referee will play the scrum.
Well, this often happens when you're playing catch-up football. They're throwing the ball back nilly-nilly and just ad-libbing, and Desi Hasler running across trying to find a hole there, but the ball being knocked down. So he's ruled that he's knocked it on, actually, trying to offload.
And Manly have cracked the half-century in their error count. 32 missed tackles, 9 drop balls, 9 bad passes.
This would be for the prior incident between
Cliff Lyons and the baby-faced David Boyd. Almost double the error count there, Manly compared to Newcastle. The clock is creeping towards the 5-minute mark. In fact, the clock has stopped. The siren is gone, but the referee doesn't realise it. Newcastle want to call the game off. Eddie Ward says that's it, and Newcastle have won. Well, I looked at the clock, and the clock hand seems to have stopped just short of the 5-minute mark. I think that's caught everyone unawares, but Newcastle have won the game 10 points to 4. The clock is correct. 80 minutes have elapsed. A tremendous win to Newcastle. They're into 5th spot. What a contest. Newcastle 10, Manly 4.